Okay, everybody, Justin here. And if you're with me this far, this is video 3, level 3, and it's saddle communication, where you transition from the ground to their back. So in video 2, I showed you 5-part series where we ask the horse 5 different questions, get a deeper understanding of them, they get a deeper understanding of us. What I'm going to do now is transition from the ground to her back, and I'll utilize a bitless bridle for establishing communication on her back. A bitless bridle doesn't have metal going into her mouth. I start all my horses in this bridle, and then they just never come out of it. There's never a need for them to. This particular horse is very sensitive, very quiet, doesn't really need any kind of extra mechanical equipment to force submission. We'll just call it that. So if you watched video 2, you'll understand what that means. We want to create willingness in our horses, and if you can imagine any time that we inflict pain on a horse. So she just took a deep breath. I'm going to take a deep breath. That allows our inner pathway of communication to synchronize. Breathing, muscle tension, what we're thinking, then ultimately outer pathway of communication, what we're doing. What's my attitude and what are my actions? So I want to put this bitless bridle on her, and it'll replace the halter and lead rope, because when I'm on her back, I need something more practical to communicate with her being up there. So it'll have reins where I can extend my arms to her face rather than reaching down there and guiding them with my hand, which I've done in the past, just testing, and it works, but it's not very practical. So we use a bitless bridle to reach down there and essentially apply hand pressure to move her face back and forth. So I built this bridle myself, or designed this bridle myself, built it off of my own hand, and it mimics my hand coming to her face, and see how she moves away from just the lightest pressure. That's what we're going to, mimic when we're up on her back with this bitless bridle. So this is an asking device, not a force to submission device. Like if I were to put a bit in her mouth, metal bit, and my hands aren't soft, and I go too heavy, usually by accident people do it, it's going to cause pain, and it's just inevitable. It will cause them pain. So that'll create a restriction in her mind as, ow, that hurt. So where did her attention go? So wherever attention goes, energy flows. So I want her thoughts to stay on me and what we're really trying to achieve, the depth of our relationship. I don't want to obstruct, restrict the mind, cause tension in the body, and take anything away from our relationship that could be evolving into something that we're trying to get it to evolve to, which is life enrichment, ultimately. So I'll put this bridle on, and I'll make the adjustments, and get her brow band set, get the nose band set, and then we'll put the throat latch on. And what I'm going to do is tie this lead rope and halter onto my saddle and take it with me. You never know, might need it. I do plan on riding out today, so I'll definitely take it with me. And we'll just tie this on. So even though I'm tying this on, I'm still communicating with my horse. And some people don't realize that that's what's going on. Anytime you're with your horse, you're communicating. How you're thinking and what you're doing, you're becoming. So if I'm checking equipment and I'm jerking on things and, and not really thinking about how I'm presenting to my horse, it could be causing her some discomfort, and we don't want that. We want to keep her comfortable. So I'm not gingerly checking things, I'm fluidly checking things and moving around my horse. That way she knows how I will naturally be. In other words, I don't want to tiptoe around her to where I surprise her whenever I don't tiptoe around her. So it's a harmony, an agreement that we're forming, a kind of a balance. And whenever you get imbalance, there's recognition. The vibration changes in an imbalance. So if I maintain conscious awareness of what I'm thinking and doing and presenting to my horse at all times, that's the growth and development of conscious awareness. Then if I'm not, she'll recognize that change and she'll remind me, hey, you're not paying attention to what you're thinking and doing. And that's a cool accountability partner. And then I can recognize, oh, you're right. I was thinking about something else. I got in a bit of a hurry and I caused you a little bit of discomfort, or I caused you a little bit of apprehension on something. Anything that she reflects back to me comes from me. So I have to be aware of that. Now, there are outside influences, and I just need to be aware that if I'm circular in the feedback loop, whether I'm on the ground or on her back, outside influences will have little to no effect on that. And if they try, I can maintain that feedback loop to where that has no real significant impact. So what we'll do before we get on her back is we check our equipment, make sure saddle's tight. I'm going to ask her to do what we call a lateral flexion, and that's just kind of a pre-ride check as far as I'll apply fingertip pressure. Basically, I'll pick up this rein, and the weight of that rein is going to give her pressure on her face. And that's what I'd like to see, you know, just barely apply pressure on her face, and then she gives to that pressure. And then you essentially are asking, are you with me? And her responding in that manner is yes. If she's bracy and rigid when I pick up with fingertips on the rein pressure, she's basically saying no. So what is my job to do to present to her to get her to say yes? So I've got to change something that I've been doing and create the desired response that I'm after. I want her real soft. I want her real quiet. I want to be able to take any person, child, adult, elderly person, doesn't matter, and allow them to communicate on her back with her. So if we're not able to communicate with light, soft pressure, then I'm going to create the way we can. And how do we do that? If anybody knows, type it in the comments. It's a practice. So I'm going to do a left lateral before I mount up. Come on up in the seat. And we'll do a lateral to stop her feet. She's like ready to go. Okay, so let's turn to the camera there, Cinnamon. And then stop right here, honey. So what I'll do when I transfer from the ground to her back, I'm going to ask her a series of specific questions. So I've got to be responsible with these hands. Whatever I think and do, remember, we become. So if I'm not thinking about what I'm doing with these hands or my feet or my legs, my seat and my legs, then I'm not developing an awareness. I may be doing something unaware. So I'm going to consciously say, all right, I want my right hand to pick up on a rein and ask her for a lateral flexion. Boom. She did a great job. I can switch hands. I want to be responsible for this left hand and how much pressure at what time, at what rhythm. All of those are laws of nature, cause and effect. So the law of action I'm going to be using to reach down and pick up on this rein, what is the effect? Nice. Now, if I reach down there fast and gripped it and ripped it, get a different response. Same energy, just different degree of that energy. Scale of 1 to 10. I'm asking her with a 1. She's responding very nicely. If I ask her with a 5, she would probably respond a lot quicker. Ask her with a 10, she'd probably freak out. Like, oh my gosh, why are you yelling at me? Those are things that you've got to develop an awareness to. So same with legs. If I just turn a toe out and ask her to move off of that leg, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would like to start soft, increase the intensity to get the desired result. So I'll think softness with my leg, calf muscle pressure only. Don't need spurs, gig her in the belly, make her do anything. So in conjunction with a left rein, asking her to go to my left, turn a toe out and just apply that calf muscle. And we move in a circle. Take the calf muscle away, hold the face, asks her to stop, release the pressure as a thank you, and then relax. So we take a deep breath, breath work, relax the shoulders, hips, and the legs. Then we can switch hands and we go the other direction. So I pick up on a right rein to point her nose in that direction, turn a left toe, apply a calf muscle, and we do it right circle. Take the calf muscle away, hold the face till her feet stop moving, release, deep breath, relax the shoulders, hips, legs. So we basically got hand responsibility, rein control, because that's the only thing we can control in this relationship is the reins, ourselves and the reins. And then we can increase our ability to communicate with our horse to develop this relationship. So I want softness with my hands. Asking with light pressure, release that pressure as a thank you. Soft pressure with my legs, release that pressure as a thank you. We're going to depend less and less on our reins and even our legs and go more mind to mind communication, but that's for future videos. We'll just keep it simple, transferring from the ground to their back. The simplest thing that you can practice is hand communication. Be responsible for your hands. Seat and leg communication. Think and do, you become. Whatever you become, you attract. So if you're fluid at your questions, she's going to be fluid at responding. If you're bracy and rigid, she's going to be bracy and rigid. So the willingness for you to change and present again is how you're going to develop an awareness and deeper understanding. That sense and understanding start to balance. Then your skill set increases, then your experience increases, and then the challenges that you come up against are easier. And if you go too fast too soon, the challenges can be harder. So it's real easy to start realizing the best way to ascend, both of you, is develop your skill, experience, and then accomplish challenges you find joy in, creates happiness, life enrichment. So that's it for this transferring from the ground to their back, so I can stay in the camera. We focus on our hands and our legs, what we're presenting to the horse. Based on their feedback, we make changes, present again, develop the feedback loop up here. So all of those laws of nature, this is where you get to practice them. Cause and effect, law of action. You think it, take action. Pick up a rein. How fast you pick that rein up, how much pressure you're picking that rein up will be an effect. The cause is you with the rein. The effect is the response the horse gives you. So law of cause and effect. Very, very easy to practice sitting up on the back of a horse. Law of compensation. How much time is it going to take for you to get the desired responses? If you don't practice, it's going to take forever. If you practice, it gets quicker. It comes. You'll understand law of vibration. How fast is your breathing up here? Do you need to slow your breathing? Consciously be aware of how many breaths per second you're taking. Pause, take a breath, relax. Get the heart rate. She can hear your heart rate from 3 to 4 feet away. So obviously she can hear that. She can feel my muscles tense or relax. She can hear my breathing. Those are all vibrations. Those are all in rhythm. That's energy, information transferring back and forth. I too can hear her breathing, her muscles tense. It all starts with thought. This is a meditation. Therapeutic aspect of horsemanship is the meditation, developing conscious awareness of ourself through the eyes in the relationship of a horse-human relationship. You get a deeper understanding of your mind, body, spirit complex. There's nothing more beautiful that I've ever experienced than to become a better person in horsemanship through the eyes of a horse, through the relationship with a horse. So saddle communication, very important. Level 3, transition from the ground up to their back. Maintaining harmony, which is agreement in the mind, the body, and the spirit. It's real beautiful when you can get those to harmonize or agree. You get a feedback loop going. What you think and do, you become. So this particular horse is very fun to ride. She's a magnificent horse, and carrying me around and exploring Earth together. She's a very affectionate horse. She helps me understand that law of gender, the masculine, the feminine, the intuition and the creation. Those are really important. It's one of those things. This horse is I would say represents a feminine energy of intuition, kindness, compassion, very affectionate. Mother hen, not so much, a dominating mare that a lot of people describe as a negative. She's a very positive mare in that regard, and it helps me kind of tap into a feminine energy that we all possess. You get them both. You got masculine, feminine, but rather than go dominate her and force her to submit and use some pain and go over onto that spectrum or that scale, we can explore the other one. It's like, well, let's think more intuitively. Let's create something that doesn't exist. Let's pause and think, and then let's go softer on the scale of polarity of pressure. Let's go softer, see what we can get there. So I'll give you just a little brief demo of what I'm talking about. I really wanted to save it for like level 5, but it'll kind of give you a primer of where we're going. So if you can think about something so great, I promise you it can be greater. However, if you think of something that's so bad, it can actually be worse. And what I mean by that is, if I think a thought of, what if I could communicate with this horse mind to mind, where I could just think it and she'd do it? Well, how do we get there? Well, if we're depending less and less on reins as time goes on, we start thinking about something before we actually do it. And then if it happens, you don't really need to do it, right? So if I thought about turning to the left and I don't have reins, and I just had legs, and we're communicating with legs, but in time I can quit communicating with legs and just start thinking it. What if? I'm here to tell you it actually works. It's beautiful. I don't know exactly how it works, but mind-to-mind communication is very real. It's an intuition. It's a energy that is recognized in vibrational frequency, and when it gets so strong in that vibrational frequency, thought is measurable. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, she's picking up on what I'm thinking, and now we've made a connection there, and she's responding in action without me doing anything. You might think it's woo-woo or whatever, but that's up to you. You can think that. It doesn't really, it's none of my business what anybody thinks, really. But what I want to show you is how intelligent these horses are. So if I think about moving to the left, of course, I'm going to do something to ask her to move to the left. So if I think, move to the left, and I'll slow this down so that I can explain it in English. Words, verbiage, words. Turn a toe out, apply a calf muscle, and then move in that direction. Well, if we practice that enough, thinking, doing, you will see, you'll think it, won't have to do it. It's a really cool thing. So let's just ask her to move into a light circle here, just with no bridle, no reins, come back around, and then we'll just stop right here. And she walked up a little bit more than I think we might have cut my head off in the frame. So I'm just going to ask her to back up just with a couple steps, try to get back in the frame in case we're out. Keep going, babe. Just keep going, keep going. So that's a vibrational frequency. Obviously, it's a cause and effect. It's a pressure. There's a vibration to it. If I went really fast in vibration, she should go faster. If I go really slow in vibration, she should go slower. But I'm telling you, if you develop a relationship with a horse so deep to where they pretty much read how you're breathing, how your heart rate, what your muscles doing, what you're thinking, what you're doing, what you've become, you've developed that together to where you can think it. They pick up on that. They respond. You don't have to do anything. And I wanted to save that till level 5, but it's so awesome. I want you to know that's where we're going, and I want to try to show you how to develop that. I mean, if you've developed a relationship with your spouse, I've been married 28 years. We did a game show last night with our kids for something fun to do. My wife had to pick a letter on this game show. I thought G, and she said G, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. But you get on a wavelength, guys, with somebody. You share a mind. It is that real. It is beautiful. It'll help you when your imbalances come, and your person you're in a relationship with is balanced. They bring you up. That's what I'm talking about, an accountability partner. I'm sharing this information with you because it is a secret. It's just not accessible is what that means. It's accessible if you go into it and practice it. So it's not really a secret. It's just that people don't know this. They've never had conscious contact with a horse. You know, I can sit here and explain this video to you, and you'll get a sense of it, and you can kind of understand it. But if you've never sat on the back of a horse, it's going to be really tough for you to understand the essence of horsemanship, the essence of communicating with another living being that's a 1,000-pound muscle and navigating through earth, mind to mind, body to body. spirit to spirit. The Native Americans figured it out. I know they did. There's no doubt in my mind. I've studied enough about it to know they figured this out. However, it's practiced. I could figure it out, but it's use it or lose it. I have gotten away from it, and I notice it's like, whoa, we're not as mind to mind connected as we used to be. It's not as the depth isn't there anymore. Practice, understand the laws, abide in the laws, develop yourself, ascend consciously, go into that love, peace, and tranquil consciousness to where you can present flow state, where your skills, experience, and the challenges that arise are easily overcome to where you find joy in doing it. You'll look as a challenge as not as something negative. It'll be something positive because you can actually look at it as like, I'm going to grow and develop. This is actually something we're prepared to do. We're going to accomplish it, and I'm going to grow from this. It's an opportunity. If we develop all this awareness and we develop this relationship, but we don't go do anything that's challenging it, it's really tough to get an affirmation or a deeper understanding. So hopefully that helps you kind of understand the sacred art of horsemanship and what that means and how you can take steps toward it to develop it and experience it. You know, it's law of compensation has to be understood. It's not overnight. You know, I've been with this horse over a decade now, and we've on and off had really deep conversations, we could call it. Our relationship is really strong. I'm fully confident in that. She feels very safe with me. I feel very safe with her. I can get on her back and we can go anywhere, beach, mountains, city, competitions, obstacle course. It doesn't matter. She's really, really capable of that, and so am I, and that's confidence. We have confidence in each other. So it's a beautiful thing. Level 3, transferring from the ground to their back. It is pretty much one and the same of level 1 and 2. You're just in a different location. That's all. And maintaining a feedback loop will help you build your confidence, help you develop skills, develop an experience to accomplish challenges that may arise, and they're easily overcome. So you become a victor rather than a victim. And it's okay if you temporarily get defeated. It is okay. I've done it many times. All that just tells us is we went too fast too soon. Our skill and our experience weren't lined up for that particular challenge. Great information. It's really good. You both get to learn something. Just take a step back, practice some more, move forward. That's all I have to share for today. I'll bring you video 4 next, which is man-made obstacle course, which we have 5 little obstacle courses set up in here. That's how you get to practice what it is we've learned in level 1, 2, 3. Level 4, you'll be on their back, moving through obstacle course, practicing those laws of nature, seeing, feeling, developing a sense and understanding. And then your relationship will grow more efficiently, more effectively, had you not known these things. I developed them, learned them, developed them over 2 decades with horses. And I teach it here at American Mustang School in North Carolina. Had hundreds of people come through this school in the last 5 years. And this, what I'm showing you, is how we develop that unique relationship between horse and human that we call horsemanship. And it is a sacred art. It's a very beautiful sacred art. And I'm very happy to be able to share this with you on this form of media. So please type in the comments if you have any questions on horsemanship, laws of nature, how they tie in to become the sacred art of horsemanship. Because I've looked around and I don't see people teaching this. I don't see people practicing it much or understanding it. American Mustang School got to do proof of concept for 3.5 years on this topic with many, many, many people. And it was a beautiful thing to witness transitions, transformations, depth of understanding of self, life enrichment through the understanding. And that's what I want to bring you guys. So again, subscribe, comment, like, share, make it grow. Bye-bye.